I think in any sort of story-driven media, the main character is usually the hardest sell. In my eyes, this is pretty natural, as ultimately the main character is one of the key elements of the story, and the audience comes in with higher expectations for them than anyone else. This also makes the main character the hardest character to write in a lot of cases, leading a lot of creators to opt for the safer route of having their main character be more of a blank canvas in order to let the supporting cast shine brighter. Now, that isn't to say there aren't plenty of main characters that I love. Hinata Shoyo, Sakura Gintoki, Monkey D. Luffy, and Toru Honda, all among some of my favorite anime and manga characters of all time. But I think rarely in any cast-driven story would I ever say that the main character is my personal favorite from the series. That is, except for Mob. Mob Psycho 100 is one of the most vibrant and eccentric shows out there, from its art style to its comedy to its cast. At first glance, Shigeo Kageyama, or Mob, probably seems more similar to the whole blank canvas archetype of main characters that I mentioned earlier. Mob doesn't express much emotion, which is a dramatic contrast to everyone around him, and the show's entire wacky, overdramatic sense of humor as well. The first couple of episodes, your focus isn't as much on Mob as it is towards everyone around him, as you bask in the outlandishness of Reagan and the Body Improvement Club, even Dimple. It was all unlike anything I'd ever seen, and I was kind of just stuck wondering, why Mob? In a show unlike anything I had ever seen, why was the main character something that I had seen 1,000 times over? But that's exactly the point. Mob Psycho's Author 1's greatest storytelling tool is the contrast between normal and the absurd. This can also be seen in a more surface-level fashion in his other well-known work, One Punch Man. Mob's existence is absolutely absurd. He's a middle schooler who also happens to be the world's most powerful psychic, and yet both to the audience and initially to himself, Mob doesn't care. He sees himself as boring and wishes he was so much more than he is. This is something that's repeated throughout the series time and time again, and something that so many other people on this platform have talked about when it comes to this show. But talking about what makes Mob such a good character, I have to mention it. Despite his psychic powers, he can't get the girl he likes, and he can't build more muscles and self-confidence. Unlike a lot of the other show's delusional psychics, he realizes that his psychic powers don't make him special. He has just as hard a time when it comes to expressing his emotions as we all did in middle school, to the point where one of the main plot devices in the series is literally a counter that increases in percentage up to 100%, where his emotions will overflow in the form of those powers. His greatest insecurity stems from his childhood crush telling him to get a clue and show more emotion. And that's what it all boils down to for me. Mob is real, he's relatable, he's probably the most relatable character that I've ever come across. That's what makes Mob the hero that I look up to the most from any anime I've ever seen. There's plenty examples out there in the world of corruption being an inevitable byproduct of power. Maybe having a character that can be so powerful yet so kind and relatable is just plain unrealistic. But I like to think of it as characters like Mob that have the power to inspire people to turn that fantasy into a reality. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more.